Wow, what a trailer! I like it far more than I thought I would, because there's two reasons why I like the trailer so much. One is that it feels, as I've been saying, like a proper Spider-Man movie. I watched Spider-Man 2 again last night, and I marveled at how much it felt like a specific Spider-Man story versus the other Spider-Man movies we've gotten, which I've enjoyed very much, but they felt more like they were something else, more, they felt very MCU adjacent, which I think we've been enjoying, but now I think I'm ready for a proper Spider-Man movie. And don't worry, this is going to get a lot done, because of course it's going to really crack open the multiverse. Sylvie walked so that Doctor Strange and Peter Parker could run. Oh, I'm so excited. And then Wanda could, go nuts. I'm excited. This is, of course, the part of a larger story. But so that's the first reason that, with the Sinister Six, it's going to be six. There's no way that Kevin Feige would fall one short of having the Sinister Six at some point in the movie. So it feels like a Spider-Man film. And then the other thing is that they give away that I think they make it clear that there's going to be Tobey and Andrew in the movie because they have their villains. I mean, they came from multiverses that have Spider-Man in them. They got to be the ones we're expecting. So I think in that way they do confirm it. It's like a soft confirm, but that they don't give away that moment so that we can experience it in the theater. I don't want to see Tobey and Andrew in the trailer at this point. We're a month out. I don't want to see even Matt Murdock. Let's experience that in the theater and go crazy together. It's going to be so great. But with all these villains, I think the biggest question that came out of this trailer is MJ going to do a Gwen Stacy? I'd be pretty upset if she did, to be honest with you. I really like her. We're going to talk a little bit about MJ in a moment when we dive into the trailer. I have some interesting stuff to say about her and love interests. But I do know that someone close to Peter dies. He's got to learn a lesson here, and he's going to pay a horrible price. But I honestly don't know who it is. And it better not be Zendaya. I'd be so upset. I want her to go and be a star of her own franchise, but that doesn't mean she has to leave this one. All right, let's break it down. So we start off with Tom Holland looking pretty Peter Parker-y. Peter Parker always has a rough time of it. His tears, thankfully, will mix with the rain so that nobody has to know he's crying. I can tell now, but we are very close. So he's like, the whole time I've been Spider-Man, I only had one good week. Not right now. And he said, that's when, even you knew. That's so romantic. As they say in Spider-Man 2, read her poetry. And, the kind you write yourself is even better. So I love this. So they're swinging through the subway to get away from everyone. And MJ, Zendaya, is the one selling it. Because you can't emote through a Spider-Man mask. Especially, his eyes are supposed to be able to move. But for some reason, they're not too much here. But she looks fantastic. And I wanted to bring up, one of you tweeted me an interview with Kirsten Dunst recently where she talked about the pay disparity for Spider-Man 2. Not Spider-Man 1, Spider-Man 2. And she said that the pay disparity between her and Tobey Maguire was extreme. I think the hero of the movie, the title character, obviously would get a little bit of a bigger paycheck, but I don't think we should undervalue the love interest, especially when they're such a big part of the story, as Kirsten Dunst was. You watch Spider-Man 2, she adds so much to that, and she delivers. She deserved a bigger paycheck. Again, I don't think they should be, she's not Spider-Man, but she's close. She's very important. And I think right here for Zendaya, she's doing a lot of heavy lifting in this whole trailer and in the whole movie, I'm sure. But I think this shot is an excellent example of that. She just looks so great. I'm a big Zendaya fan. Pay Zendaya. So look, there she's swinging. They're swinging past. That's a great shot. Oh, that looks like a close one. I love it. So we got all the logos. Everyone's working together like one big happy family. And Doctor Strange, who sounds very off, by the way. I don't know what's going on. Did Benny C lose his ability to do an American accent? Maybe he's like, I can't always sound like the Grinch. He's my current favorite Grinch, by the way. I'm so excited to watch that movie again. But his accent is off. Something's weird. And they did introduce Doctor Strange Supreme in What If. So he's on the board in live action. So I would be shocked if Benedict Cumberbatch just suddenly lost the ability to act. So I think there's something going on. So he's like, disaster when my spell didn't work. I love the shot. I've been seeing it freeze framed around, but it's really gorgeous. It's doing it one-handed. That's how much of a pro he is. Maybe he should have two-handed it and he wouldn't have messed it up. So I'm excited for this. That's an iconic moment in the MCU right there. And he said we've had some visitors ever since then. So we get some. So here's the thing. So here's Goblin flying in here. I will never look at Goblin the same after one of you sent me the hilarious thing of Goblin turned around. It's funny and adorable. He's got what is it, like a chibi butt in that fan version, and I'm like, you got to do the turnaround, man. I mean, he should fly in backwards as far as I'm concerned. All right, you got to lean far out to balance out that glider. That's all I'm saying. So we have a lot. So Electro, look at that suit. So it's confirmed later in the trailer, but I had an epiphany when I saw this. My first thought when I saw this freeze frame was, damn, that looks sharp and good. Some of the shots in this trailer are not so sharp. That's because I'm telling you, as I have been telling you, that the CGI is not done. It might never be done since they've decided to stick with this release date. But that CGI shot is done, and it looks beautiful. But it looks like a Doctor Strange Spider-Man suit, and I wonder if he has the spells of protection that we saw in What If, right? Those were very cool. So I would love to see that here. I'm sure the VFX team is like, maybe he doesn't because we got to animate them. So maybe he just gets real lucky. So we have Doc Ock with his arms. I gotta say, I think his arms are pretty good. They have a coldness to them, not the cartoonish aspect that they did in the Raimi version. Boy, a lot of Raimi's DNA is all over Spider-Man 2 in particular. There he is. This Doc Ock wears a turtleneck, and I gotta say, he looks good in it. He's like, hello, Peter. Now look, see that? I do like the way he hovers in a trench coat. Raimi in particular loves a good trench coat. Doc Ock, he lets his arms do all the work, but that's a, I gotta say, the CGI doubles were real easy to spot in Spider-Man 2, like what, 20 years ago or something? They don't look much better here. So, but I do like when Spider-Man goes through tight spaces. I always think that's a lot of fun. He did that, of course, in the subway sequence going through the bridge in Spider-Man 2. Look at him. He's doing the same thing here, sliding around. Now look at this, talking about VFX. Now I love this shot, and I used it for my poster frame for my reaction. But at first I had it with the tie down, and I was like, what is that? Because the tie is the same color as part of his suit, and I was like, what could that possibly be? It was driving me nuts. So I went in frame by frame to get a better shot. I ended up getting that one. But it doesn't make any sense. The tie doesn't look real. I don't know does the tie get cut off? How does the tie get sucked back into a suit? I mean, maybe when the nanobites or the nanites go up, it like pulls the suit that's tie up, but it doesn't look like that. I'm sure the VFX team was like, did you have to give him a tie that flops? Couldn't he wear a bow tie? Ties aren't even popular anymore. But I do love that shot. It's very Spider-Man. It's great. I hope that he starts making more jokes. That was my favorite thing about Andrew Garfield. Besides the fact that Andrew Garfield struck the Romita poses so perfectly, I liked that Garfield was the quippiest Spider-Man. He had quips. Quip, 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 quip. All right, instead of thwip. Now, I love that look on Doc Ock's face. He's like, you're not Peter Parker, or at least not the one that I know. He's going to start to piece it together. And again, Doc Ock is the sympathetic one. He's like, oh, do you like my new red detailing on my arms? I'm like, I do, Otto, I do. I'm not going to make fun of his name. I don't like that. Look how he's layering. Is he wearing a leather coat under a trench coat? No wonder he's in such a bad mood. But, he's somebody who, he's nuts because his artificial intelligent arms are a bad influence on him. He's hanging out with a bad crowd. Too bad they're singed to his waist. So he grabs this car. He's throwing it. Again, there's CGI Otto Octavius. I'd be like, can't we swing Alfred Molina around on a rope so he at least looks like a little better there? So he does the flip, just like in Spider-Man 2 with the car crash. And if you know the leaks, you know what's going on here. I don't want to ruin it for you if you don't know the leaks. But large chunks of this story have leaked. And you can see them confirmed here. So they're talking to Otto, and I don't think his name's that funny. I mean, he's a nice guy. I'd blame Ned. So they're laughing at his name, which I was like, look, he's so sympathetic. Alfred Molina's a great actor. You're like, don't make fun of the villain. And look, his little AI arms are like, see, we told you these guys are punks. So here, that's Captain America's shield and the Statue of Liberty. That's a whole nother discussion. I kind of feel that's not a good thing. I feel that's going a step too far. I'm like, did you take away her book, her plaque, to give her Cap's shield? Can't we just make a Cap statue somewhere else? I don't think we need to upgrade the Statue of Liberty. I mean, that's just how I feel. But I mean, it's a movie. It'll be fun. But look, yellow lightning in the sky because Electro's up there. So Electro, I guess, likes, he feeds off of power, right? From the second movie, I remember that. So look, so see, the suit has Doctor Strange capabilities. I wouldn't trust Peter to wield those at all. But there's Electro behind him. Electro can't sneak up on anyone. He's a giant beam of light. Let's get some, where's Livewire? Come on, DC. Come on. Yeah, even half the characters. So he's like, let's Scooby-Doo this crap. And I love this. MJ has such a great line. I wasn't sure where it was going, and I loved it. She says, I know some magic words myself, starting with the word please. And it's so good. And kudos to Zendaya. That line could have been delivered very annoying. Like, I guarantee you, if Ned had delivered it, it would have been bad. I'm not a Ned fan. But Zendaya is just a treasure. A treasure! That's what Tom Holland's thinking right there. In character and in real life. And even Doctor Strange is like, all right, Scooby-Doo this please. Or please Scooby-Doo the crap out of this. So we got more power lines. So look, New York One is a real news service, and then the Daily Bugle. So New York One, that's impressive that they got themselves in there. They're like, it's just us and another news. That's something from the story. Oh, yeah. Now, I loved this shot of J. Jonah Jameson smiling at what's happening. Because that's just out of Spider-Man 2, where he's so happy. He loves his job. He loves the news. And I relate to that. I think that's awesome. So I love the smile on his face. Now, look, here, we see something going on here. But look, there's Electro. Now, we have a little bit of a better picture of Electro later on. I don't know where his suit goes. He's got actually wearing some kind of device. So where does it go when he turns into electricity? I'm not sure if he needs that. But look, Sandman's in there too. I like that shot. That's just poetic. Moon Knight's like, hey, me too, man. But that's really gorgeous. That's gorgeous. Maybe there'll be 3 Spider-Men in there at some point. I would love that, but I don't know if we'll ever be so lucky, right? They're like, erase them out for this trailer. That'll be a fun game, finding out where they put them back in when we see the movie. So Otto Octavius is like, you're fighting ghosts, man. And Doctor Strange is like, it's true. You kill everybody. All these villains die at the hands of Spider-Man, which means that the head of the whole multiverse isn't necessarily Kang, or maybe this is one of Kang's variants, but it's a movie studio executive who feels you should kill off villains after just one movie. Even Feige makes that mistake. They all die after one film. You're like, don't you want to save them for a rematch and for later? And they're like, no. So I think that's hilarious that the movie's kind of referencing that. So he's like, I'm sorry, they just all die at your hands. And Tom Holland's like, I'm not a murderer. And that's where they have the fight. Now, I think that naivete is very much in line with Tom Holland's version of the character. However, this is a little annoying. And so is his messing up Doctor Strange's spell. So I would hate for us to have a situation here where the audience is like, has the same reaction that we did to when Star-Lord messed up the big plan in Infinity War, right? We're like, ask him the question after we get the gauntlet off. You'll have all the stones. You can do whatever you want. So I think that Peter should ask a little bit more questions. But, he decides to act. And look at this. There's some great stuff I was able to deduce from this. So we get a Doctor Strange versus Spider-Man fight. So look at this. I was like, what happened here? I believe that Doctor Strange got him to web himself by using those portals. I think that's the same webbing that goes from his hand to his foot. And I'm like, that's pretty amazing, Doctor Strange. Then he whip it good, and pulls him in and pushes out the Peter Parker in him. He's like, that's what's messing this all up. Look, there's Aunt May. Also in Spider-Man 2, I appreciated Rosemary Harris. I didn't appreciate her acting the last few times I watched it, but when I watched it last night, I was like, this is some amazing work. I love this new version of Aunt May, and I love that she can still hold her own. I don't know why he always squeezes his head. I mean, that's gotta hurt. These arms are much longer. And again, red detailing, very nice. That's for the action figures. He is wearing 2 coats. Ridiculous. You gotta make a joke about that, Peter. All right, so obviously the leaks of Toby and Andrew and Tom on scaffolding is obviously the scaffolding. All right, so there could be a Toby or Andrew anywhere in this shot. We'll see. So he's escaping from Electro. Look, there he is. I called it. Earlier today in my live stream, I was like, Kevin Feige loves to be comics accurate. So I bet he has that, because if he wants to do the Electro mask, I bet that it's with electricity. And then right before the trailer dropped, I tweeted about a couple minutes before 8 that I heard from my source. My source gave me an extremely accurate breakdown of this trailer, but I was sworn to secrecy, so I just told you about the Electro stuff and that it would have all villains in it. And I was right about that. So that's like when I predicted, so it was a prediction and a scoop, but I predicted that Vision would get his cape by seeing Thor. And that's actually what happened. So I love that. I think that's great. And I think it's because we're all fans, and that shows that Marvel's on the right wavelength. So I don't know what kind of exoskeleton he has on here, but I don't like it. I wish that he just could channel the energy. But I would have made the stars a little bigger. To be honest with you, I would have made the star around his head a little bigger. So he's like, light him up. Looks a little 90s there, in my opinion. Maybe his character is from the 90s. It's a multiverse. So I like that it starts around one of his eyes. That's pretty cool. Sometimes maybe it could just be around one of the eyes. I like it. A little cable-y. Now it looks like he and Doc Ock got into a little bit of a disagreement. That Doc Ock always sometimes being the hero. So playing keep away. Very well edited together on that. Oh, there he is. There's a close-up. Again, I can't not think of the other shot. But he's going to be getting rid of that mask. Well, there's another shot of him in just a moment, but I really hate that mask. I mean, I know it's from the original movie, but I think it's silly. So there he is. And then hold on. There it is. There's the other shot. I told you that leak the other day was correct about the new look for Goblin, and it's going to be Willem Dafoe. Willem Dafoe has a very large part in this movie. They're just doing a good job of hiding it, but I think that's a much better look. He looks fantastic. Look at him. He's got his own drones. Drones for everybody, basically. But I think with the goggles and everything, it's just really fantastic. And look, oh, don't set up a death man. Oh, so that looks like a bigger version of the same spell done from the Statue of Liberty. Now, here we go. This is a great shot. There's Lizard. He's like, I am in this movie. The visual effects on Lizard don't look any better than when he was in The Amazing Spider-Man. That's nuts. So we got Electro, who's really stealing focus there. Lizard's like, man, I gotta get a light up necklace or some glow sticks. I call up Venom for some glow sticks. But there's Sandman in the middle. I missed that when I was watching it because Electro grabbed so much attention. But yeah, there's Sandman. He doesn't look anything like Thomas Hayden Church. Do you know what you look like, man? All right. So do you wonder if the other two Spider-Men are in that shot? Ooh! So he's like, this is all my fault. That's right, he's got to learn a lesson. So look, some of you pointed out, who the heck is Lizard launching towards, right? And I bet there's one Spider-Man for each villain. 3 on 3, gotta make it a fair fight. That's a great shot. So look, more diving through stuff. I think that's great, I love it. Oh, a lot of damage. Down goes the shield. Ned misses her. And he's like, no. And I'm like, you better not freaking kill MJ. I'd be pretty freaking upset about it. I'd be real upset. Well, and if they do, will they have the nerve to do the neck snap being the reason? Well, he doesn't seem to web her. She seems to be wanting to grab her hand. Maybe she'll get spider powers and turn into Spider-Woman? I don't know. I mean, that never... MJ actually, what was she? Jackpot, right? That was kind of lame. But with MJ, I'll allow it. So yeah, look, that's the multiverse ripping open, and as many of you pointed out, it looks just like Loki. Love it. I love it. I love when you can instantly see and put things together. And he's like, oh man, I think we're going to need another movie for this. My own movie. That's right, you're getting your own movie. And he said, they're all coming through and I can't stop them. And then Wanda's like, oh, I can. Oh, look, I was so happy about the November 29th scoop that I got right. I didn't see they're calling it Spider Monday. That's a great idea. I wonder what else will happen on Spider Monday. You can't call it Spider Monday if you don't have some other stuff planned. I know one of you said there's some kind of Spider-Man video game launch the next day or something, right? I'm very excited. Very excited. Good luck getting tickets. I think this might be an end game event. Thursday night's gonna go like that. So good luck. All right, everybody. Thanks for going through this with me. I had so much fun. The fun's just getting started. Subscribe today. And of course, as always, you can check out some more videos right now.